Hey, what's up? You're watching The Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Suzy Nakamura is here with us. Avenue 5 on HBO. Lots of good stuff going. Good to see you.
That's me.
That's you right there. It's partially your real hair, but mostly not your real hair.
Mostly not. This is the only real part. There.
And that's definitely not Josh's real hair right there.
Not Josh's hair.
No.
His is supposed to look bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, yours, if we didn't know who you were, we could be like, oh yeah, that woman's got that look potentially, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if she could pull it off all the time, but hey, you know what? Why not?
That'd be tough.
Tough look.
So the piece goes all the way down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's longer than I thought it was.
It's pretty long.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So what's this experience been like so far?
It's a dream job, really. It really is. And because of the people, working with Armando Iannucci is one of, once in a lifetime, I feel. Because the process is so collaborative and different. You know, television, it's usually like, here's a script, great, go say it.
Right.
But with him, it's, here's a script, let's work it out, let's rehearse it, let's change this, let's make this better, let's add a joke, we don't need that, and then we shoot it. And that's so rare. It's just, television usually doesn't work like that.
Yeah, when was the last time that happened for you in TV?
The last time it happened was when I was working with Armando on Veep. And that was the only other time. Only other time it happened.
But I feel like that's an important thing to do because you need to work some stuff out. You need to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Yes, but because the way that the television process is set up is they write a script, they cast it, you meet the guy who plays your husband the day.
Which is insane. Like there's no chemistry building.
No, and then they're like, great, now shoot it. Or you're at the table read. Your first day of work is the table read, and then they go, oh, they have no chemistry.
Like, gee,
you're fired.
I wonder why. I have just literally met this person who I'm supposed to be in love with.
Yeah. And they're like, that's weird. Anyway, tons of people get fired from the table read. It's like, well, what?
That's why TV is so difficult.
Why is this the first day of work?
For so many different reasons, TV is hard. But that hits on something else right there, too, where it's like, how am I supposed to pull this off if I'm just meeting this person? I don't know how many shots I'm going to get at this. And then we don't know if people are going to watch it. Like, it's all these different things all together.
Yeah. And they're asking you to tell the future, and you can't. But there's certain things that you can avoid, which is like have one day of whatever, rehearsal or
table read.
Or actors meeting, I don't know.
Right, anything. Yeah.
And then, the table read.
So it's nice that you had some more time with this one then.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, we even went early and had a whole week of we collaborated with not just Armando and the writers, but with the hair department, wardrobe. What would hair look like in the future?
Right.
What was clothing look like in the future?
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about those things. And you need a lot of different people to weigh in and talk about it.
It was fascinating. They said probably not, probably not leather or suede because that would be considered primitive.
Right.
But if they did, they would probably make it in a petri dish as opposed to, harvesting skins from, which sounds primitive now.
Yeah.
And, what are gender roles? What's coming back that was old, Yeah,
because something's definitely going to come back. We're definitely going to push things forward.
Oh, for sure.
And it's fascinating to unpack that, especially here in 2020, thinking about the very distant future.
Yeah. And also not that distant.
Right.
And Armando made a great analogy in an interview once. He's like, it's sort of like 1980. It's not that much different. The cars look different. And now we have Wi-Fi.
Because the humans are the same. It's just everything else that's changing around.
A little different, but we're still wearing jeans and dresses and jackets or whatever. So it's not that crazy.
That's why it's funny when we talk about the future and have the future in TV, because it always goes way out there into things that we can't possibly fathom. But then we couldn't really fathom Wi-Fi and computers and a lot of that stuff previously.
I know.
So it's an interesting process.
We're still driving gas cars, so it's not that different.
What was most surprising about this process for you? You've done a ton of TV in the past. What separates this besides all the pre-show stuff?
Well, I mean, it's not science fiction, but it is set in an unreal world, and so that's different. And that's everything, including this, you can't see it, but this wonderful set, which is, it's not digitally enhanced.
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal. It's a huge, huge space. And this particular location is sort of like this observation area, and there's 2 floors.
That's really cool.
Of real There's really a second floor. There's really stairs that go up. There's an elevator. There's a restaurant on the second level. And it's all in this soundstage.
Wow.
In London. And so you get to
actually navigate it.
You usually have to fake that kind of walking.
Right.
We're really walking.
And that's super weird when you have to fake all that stuff too.
Oh, that's what we did on the West Wing. But
Right.
before they moved to the big space, the West Wing was set on 2 separate stages across the street from each other.
Yeah, that's so weird. How'd you guys
there
do
was
that?
there was one scene where Rob Lowe and I walked down a really long hallway, and we did it, and we walked, and we basically ended up like this. And they yelled cut, and then we went to lunch, and then we went across the street to the other set, and we said, and this was like a fake chicken wire.
Right.
In the door, and they're like, action, and you're like, and then, and it cut together like we had just gone through these double doors.
Wow. That's super weird.
Yeah, it was.
But you'd never, ever know
You
about
would
watching the show.
never know. But it was
oh,
like
really
Rob Lowe
long
and I
hallway
were
walk.
literally like leaning up against chicken wire, and they're like, action.
It's like, yeah, you never know. I took lunch. There was 2 hours in between these shots. Pulled it off. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that show, that was a great experience for you. What, it was like 9 episodes, I think you were on there, something like that?
Yeah.
What sticks out the most about that time and that show?
Again, the process of television, right? You get the script, and you don't know. It's a pilot, so you don't know if it's going to get picked up.
Right.
You don't know who's going to be in it. You don't know who any of the characters are, and so you're just kind of auditioning for one thing. But I do remember going, this is one of the best scripts I've ever written. And I auditioned for 2 roles.
Which ones?
Kathy,
Yep.
Sam Seaboard's assistant, and then Daisy, who was, what's her name's assistant? The role eventually played by Marin Dungy, who's a friend of mine. I saw her at the audition.
But it was another assistant role.
It was another assistant role.
Okay.
And I initially auditioned for Daisy. And then they said, you got it. And I was like, great. Which role?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I don't know.
Like, wait, what?
So I show up, I see Marin in the parking lot. Yay, congratulations. She goes, who do you play? I go, Daisy. She goes, no, I'm Daisy.
Oh my gosh.
So I go, Kathy, then I'm Kathy.
But that's real. Like, that's just how it goes. You're
Yeah.
just like, all right, I'm in the show. Great. You guys could have told me who I was playing.
No,
right?
they just go, you got it. But I mean, like, it was either one of the
Right,
other.
it was one of 2 options. But that's really funny that it would happen like that.
She was like, no, I'm Daisy.
And that's a fun show to watch now, like given the political climate and everything going on
know,
too,
it's
and
really-
like how it kind of foreshadowed some stuff. So it's always telling when TV can do that.
Yeah. And this is,
And this too, yeah.
people are never going to take a cruise again.
Yep.
Because of this show.
You guys were ahead of that one.
And you know, there's a huge Princess Cruise in California right now.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, cruise
Just
ships
went down.
are quite toxic these days. Thank you, coronavirus.
But we always knew that.
Right. You guys were ahead of it. You're like, listen, cruise ships, we're out on them. We just know.
Look, there's
Trust
still
us.
people who are like, well, when can I go on if you're going to cancel this cruise, when can I go on it?
It's just like,
Those
no.
people are unstoppable.
There are some hardcore cruise ship people.
Yes.
I'm not one of those people.
No, there's 2 types of people.
Cruise ship people,
Yeah.
non-cruise ship people. Just a couple of non-cruise ship people
Mm-hmm.
here. That's how you define who a person is.
Yes. Do you like cruises?
That's your opening question. That's your next table read when you're trying to
There
establish
should
chemistry.
be 2 types of dating apps.
Pro cruise ship
Yeah.
and anti cruise ship. Just
They're
will spread it
all
out.
compatible. They
Yeah.
would all be compatible.
They will bond over whatever they want to bond over. So when I think of your career, like I really liked Go On. Like that was a fun show.
Go On.
That must have been a blast for you. I had Brett Gelman here last year, and he was great on that. So what was the best part of that experience for you?
Like most experiences, it's the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That cast was I think
was stacked
still one
cast,
of the
yeah.
greatest casts. And we started a text thread with Julie White, Sarah Baker, and Laura Benanti that is still alive.
Sarah
today.
Baker's hilarious also.
I love Sarah
yeah.
Baker. Have you seen The Death of Dick Long?
No.
Okay.
She's in there?
You should. You don't want. Yes.
Okay.
But it's on its own. That movie is fantastic. Anyway, so we started this text thread, a Go On text thread that is still alive today.
Wow. And that's how many years after the show now?
Shit. What year was that? 2000.
Like mid-2000s, late
12,
2000s?
11?
Okay.
12.
Yeah.
11 or 12.
And it was 2 seasons? Season and a half? Something? One season?
I should know this, DJ.
I feel like it went to a second season. Maybe it didn't.
I think it's just one.
Okay, maybe one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's cool that that's still going. Because I'm sure it doesn't happen for all the shows that you do.
No, there's an Avenue 5 text thread that's,
Nice.
that's a lot, that is very vibrant. I loved Go On because it was about grief, and there was just not enough things about grief.
Especially at that time in TV, there wasn't
Nothing.
that runway for that.
No. And now there's Fleabag, Dead to Me, whatever. I just, and someone who's sort of, you know, not sort of, who's experienced death very early on in their life, watching a show like Go On would have, can I swear? I almost said it.
You're good, go for it.
Would have changed my life. Like,
Yeah.
it would have changed my life. Just to be acknowledged. Like, Fleabag would have been life-changing if I saw that while I was grieving. You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I like. I mean, it was a great show. It was written fantastic. I loved the subject matter. Some people said, "Oh, that's dark" or whatever. It's like, no, like that's what happens in grief. It's like you want to be given permission to joke about it or talk about it.
You
or
need to laugh
whatever.
about it and spill it out.
Yeah.
And if that show comes maybe a little bit later, maybe not on network television and on a streamer instead,
Yeah.
maybe it's a different experience.
I just thought I hated it when it was canceled. I
Yeah.
thought it was so weird and funny and
Yeah, it was quirky, and that was the best part of it. And like you said, when people are struggling with someone, when they've lost somebody, they need to talk about it, and it's not always in a really easy way. Sometimes it is just to laugh about stuff.
yeah, and it could be it can be weird and funny.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Great show.
Absolutely. So if you don't mind me asking, what was that experience for you, just in terms of your own life and how you dealt with everything?
It's weird because like I don't think about my own personal experience when I'm working. I don't know. I think most people do that, right? They sort of have.
Yeah, you compartmentalize, you close off a little bit.
Especially when you show up to work, you just immediately sort of partition your brain of like personal. Like less than a year or so, after my mother died, I had to do a scene where I'm grieving
Wow.
my sister, and it was almost exactly the same as my mother's memorial. And had her, you know, the picture of the character's sister at the front, and it was exactly the same. And I remember thinking about like, I got to shoot this. Am I going to be able to maintain control? Like, you know, because you don't want to be out of control emotion-wise.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't. I didn't associate the two at all while I was shooting it. I was conscious that it was
Right, but you were so locked in at that point.
Yeah, but also being conscious of like, this is the same space. It looks exactly the same. The situation is very, very similar. But I just, thankfully, couldn't connect the two.
Yeah.
It's because you're at work.
Right, you're not thinking about that at the moment, but then you take a step back, you reflect all these years later, like, wow, these were really similar experiences, especially 1 year after, too.
Yeah.
And maybe there was an emotional part there that I was able to spill out because of what had happened in my life.
Maybe, yeah. But you know, it also helps that you're
Right, you're in
look
character.
different. Your
Yeah.
clothes are different. These are actors that you don't know very well.
Right.
I think if one member of my family was
then it
there, I
would've
would have
changed
lost
things.
it. But it was just a bunch of crew people.
That helped.
That helps, yeah.
That's for sure. So when I was thinking about this show, it comes right after Curb, and you were on Curb for a little while. You got to do that. So
Yeah.
what sticks out about that experience for you? Because that's like a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, so Curb wasn't supposed to be a series. It was supposed to be a whatever.
Just like a one-off.
1 hour special, half
Right.
hour, I don't even remember.
And then it turned into a juggernaut.
Yeah, but you know, when it was this special, I know Jeff Garland, who's from the Second City, and he basically said, "Do this." I trusted him. Showed up at 11 o'clock p.m. at some abandoned office in Century City.
Oh my gosh.
Wore my own clothes.
Wow.
Did my own makeup.
Wow.
Like brought clothes like in a garment bag, like and out the lobby and like changing clothes. It was.
That's amazing. Totally different than what it would be now.
Don't know what I'm playing.
You
Don't
just
really
showed up
know
because
what
of Jeff.
Yes. And the scene that I did, they're revealing something to Larry's character, but also revealing it to Larry
For the first time.
for the first time because they wanted his genuine reaction. So they take me to this place and they go, we don't want him to see this. We want him to see it on camera, which is, I was supposed to be a set designer. And they wanted him to see the design of the set for the first time. And so that was a little fun, but also unnerving because I didn't know how.
You have no idea what you're getting into. Yeah.
And he was, and what was so funny, they thought he would be so enraged that he might rip it apart. So they actually made it so that you could take pieces off. So I was prepared for him to rip my creation apart. But when we revealed it on camera, he was so polite.
Well, that's a relief, right? It could have gone a lot of different ways there.
Yeah, but that was really fun. That was, yeah, and then HBO loved it so much, they made it into a series.
The whole thing.
So I got to come back,
right,
but as a different character.
Which definitely doesn't happen often.
No, no.
That's awesome.
I think what we decided to do was that this character wore glasses.
They're like, oh yeah, she wasn't in the show before. She's got glasses now.
Different.
You're totally good.
Yeah.
So you had no idea what was going on there. What about Dodgeball? When you walked into that one, what were the expectations for it?
I auditioned for it, so I knew that I think they just had me do it. I don't remember.
Just Alice for Love.
I don't remember what I did audition for Ben Stiller. Yeah, You're
just holding up the L. You got the big hair, and you're holding up the L. The 3-hour-long hairdo.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie is like a cult classic now at this point.
Yeah.
It's become an all-timer.
Yeah, and I don't look like that,
right,
obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm not recognized for it at all, but I do hear quotes, and that's kind of fun.
Well, I'm sure the laugh, too, because that laugh was a big laugh.
Oh, yeah, the evil laugh.
Yeah, the evil laugh, exactly. Which is just like, for you as an actor, it's like, yeah, do your biggest laugh possible, and it's like, all right, cool.
Crazy.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's easy to do, right? Because we've been listening to crazy laughs. I kind of have a crazy laugh, though.
Yeah?
It's a version.
Just in general?
Yeah, it's just sort of a heightened, louder,
right, because I'm hearing
version.
you laugh now, and now I can understand where it starts and then how it goes all the way up here.
Take it to 11.
A whole different level. Mm-hmm. What are some of your other favorite experiences when you think about your career? Because you've done all these great things. What sticks out to you?
Honestly, the variety. Mm-hmm. That's sort of a blanket answer, but I do.
You've done all these different things, which is cool.
Yeah, that's sort of the dream of the character actor, right? Is just to do as many characters as you can. I know there's people that want for me to be on a show for 7 years, just because it's a regular gig.
Yeah, you got a good steady gig. That'd be great.
It's hard to come by, but I don't even know what it would be like to play you. Then you're just playing one character for 7 years.
Right. That would be strange for you.
It'd be strange. I wouldn't say no to it.
Sure, you'd be down for. Hey, if Avenue 5 goes 7 years, great.
Oh, please! I love playing Iris.
Yeah.
Because I also feel like she could evolve. We can get to know. And,
There's more to go with her.
That's right, and we meet the characters, just before the audience does. So it's not like we have a handle, and the writers don't know either. They sort of create as they get to know the performer, and they see you work through small character traits. But I love that I get to do so many different things.
Yeah, I mean, especially the start at the Second City, where you're just improvising, you're playing all these different things. You're still working your retail job.
Retail job.
But that's how you got through in the beginning, and then now for it to turn into what it's turned into, that was the dream back then, I'm sure, right?
It's fantastic. And there's different forms in television, right? There's multi-camera, there's single camera. Now we're doing this futuristic space thing, and I've done drama as well, which is really fun. Movies, independent films.
You've done a little bit of everything.
I've done a little bit of everything. Animation.
That's a fun place to play.
And anytime you get to do something different, it just keeps it interesting, and it's always the people. It really is.
Definitely. What else do you still want to do? What else piques your interest?
There's something about animation that I find very, very difficult and therefore gratifying. I know it's been described as acting on the head of a pin, which is so, it makes you cringe. But I'm so reliant on hair, makeup, faces, body, language, and that kind of stuff. That you take all of that away,
and it's just voice.
You have to express whatever it is with your voice. It's so challenging, and I know getting into animation is very difficult to do. It's because the people that are doing it are very, very, very good at their job, and that's just something that I would just love the opportunity to do, and hopefully get better at.
Yeah, let's make that happen.
Extremely challenging.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite animated series? Or just anything animated?
Big Mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different now, too, because now they have animated for adults.
Right.
BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
I just did a Bob's Burgers, which is, I'm a huge fan of. It's just there's so much
it's not just
out there.
kids anymore.
It's not just kids
there's
anymore.
There's a lot of adult stuff there, too.
And Josh Gad, I know, is doing a new one, Central Park, by the Bob's Burgers people. It's just fun.
Yeah. It's a fun time to be doing this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different opportunities.
Yeah.
And this is a fun show, too. Glad you're on it. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Suzy, everybody. Check her out, Avenue 5 Sundays. Search on
Sundays
HBO.
on HBO.
All right, there you go. For Suzy, I'm DJ. See you next time. You're on The Sit Down.